Is the Nether really trying to kill you? Or is it actually protecting itself? And do sniffers dig up seeds looking for dead players? We're solving Minecraft's most ancient theories to see if they're true. Starting with, were copper golems actually enslaved by pillagers in the woodland mansions? But how could that even be possible? I mean, copper golems were just added to the game. Meanwhile, these structures, the woodland mansions, come on, they've been here since the Ankh ages. Bro, I'm pretty sure they were first added all the way back in 2016. That's ages ago. So the best we can do, I guess, is hunt through some of these secret rooms and hope and pray we find some sort of proof that copper golems were here. And I don't think a random tree or an axe is exactly what I would call evidence. This structure is too old. I mean, guys, this is literally wool. It's not terracotta or concrete because neither of them were even added to the game yet when this structure was first introduced. That's how boomer we're talking about here, and yet, let's just take a few steps back here because Mojang might have been 10 steps ahead of us. They're growing pumpkins in here. And do you know what you need pumpkins for? You need pumpkins to craft copper golems. All you do is place down a copper block, chuck a pumpkin on top, and boom! Wait, why didn't that work inside the woodland mansion? Oh, wait. I am really stupid, guys. I almost made a big deal out of nothing. You have to shear the pumpkin first. Bang! And there we have it. An adorable copper golem and... Wait, what's that up there? Oh, of course. They also grow golem and... Wait, what's that up there? Oh, of course. They also grow melons, so this could just be a coincidence where they're growing food. Yeah, all right, that doesn't exactly prove anything. Unless we could somehow force him to go somewhere else. I think if you just put stuff inside his chest, that will send him on a journey, right? Okay, no. Completely useless. Wait, whoa, where is he going? He's walking into that room? Wait, I didn't actually expect this to work. This was gonna be like a whole joke, guys. Oh my gosh. Why didn't I think of this before? Woodland mansions are the only natural structure in all of Minecraft with huge storage rooms like this. I mean, there are multiple in this building. Copper golems would have been perfect for organizing every single one of these chests. Look at him. But it still doesn't prove that pillagers actually enslaved the copper golems. My boy might just love chests, right? Is there any other rooms we missed? Okay, now this is getting a little strange. Why have a room with only a carved pumpkin? We use them for golem heads. So maybe this could mean something. Actually, good point. Maybe we can connect the dots. Where else do carved pumpkins spawn? I'm on the official carved pumpkin Minecraft wiki page. Take a look at natural generation. Carved pumpkins generate in rail rooms in woodland mansions, as well as in pillager outposts. I don't know about you, but it's starting to look a lot more likely that pillagers once enslaved the copper golems. Maybe their outposts have more evidence for us. I also realized while reading through the wiki that apparently pillagers were added after woodland mansions. I didn't know that, and yet they still spawn there. I mean, now that I'm looking at these scarecrows side by side, you'd be kind of insane to not realize they look exactly like copper golems. I mean, if we replace that hay bale with a block of copper, chuck that in there, boom, and just replace that, you have yourself a copper golem. However, you know, it might not be copper golems they wanted. It could be for iron golems, and then this entire theory falls apart. No, it doesn't. Because they trap iron golems. On top of that, this is not the structure for an iron golem. So that at least suggests that they are using their pumpkins to make copper golems. The only issue is, well, I'm pretty sure they do have iron, but yeah, they don't have any copper. Where would they get that from? So now, the big issue is, well, you know, you actually have to mine the copper ore and then smelt it into ingots and then craft it into these copper blocks. All things we know that pillagers just can't do. Bro, honestly, some people might call me the biggest nerd for the amount of time I spend on the Minecraft wiki. But you know what? I ain't ashamed. It's valid and Jesus still loves me You know what else Jesus loves? Structures. Actually, I don't know about that, but I do because this might be the solution to our problem. Trial chambers. I completely forgot about them. They are made of copper. They are the only place where copper blocks will naturally generate. There's the proof. But how do we link this into pillages? I don't know. Maybe in the structures, perhaps? Are you reading this? Wait, what's the official name? Trial chambers/assembly. Like as an assembly line, manufacturing? So all pillagers would have to do is be connected to that room somehow. Being so for real right now, I genuinely thought this theory was cap, and yet here we are inside the assembly room of the copper golems. And I'm still not convinced. I mean, this doesn't really look like a factory for copper golems. It has these very industrial looking platforms, I guess, but they're not making anything but the dispensers. There's copper blocks here. This dispenser could shoot out a carved pumpkin and spawn in a copper block. Okay, well, eggs aren't exactly carved pumpkins. Wait, this one has a water bucket in it. And here we have lingering potions of slowness. Every single one of these dispensers has something different in it. We just have to find a dispenser that had pumpkins in it. That is, unless they were all taken. The whole reason we're here, pillagers needed copper. They might have taken the pumpkins and the copper blocks, but that's all just speculation. It doesn't prove that they were right here. Oh my gosh. The solution is literally staring me in the face. These, what are they called? Trial chamber vaults things? Especially the ominous chamber vaults. Even to open them, you need, what is it called? An ominous key? That again, looks like something a Vindicator or a Ravager would hold. But you know what's more interesting? The loot that is hidden deep inside. You see those bottles, guys? Those aren't just any ordinary bottles. No, these are ominous bottles. They give you the bad omen effect. If you drink this inside a village, pillagers will literally get called in like an army for a raid, and they're only found here. Wait, no, I'm wrong. This isn't the only place you can get an ominous bottle. You can kill a pillager raid captain during a raid, but I don't think there is a spawn egg for a raid captain. Maybe there's like a command we can use? Holy mother. I just Googled it and this is the command. Dude, it's so big, it doesn't even fit in our Minecraft chat. So can we put it in the command block? Oh yes, we can, baby. Let's spawn this in. Bang, there we have it, a pillager captain. You can tell because they have the banners above their head. If we go ahead and say, good night, buddy. There it is, the ominous bottle. So clearly, there's a connection. The raid captain was here. He brought that ominous bottle with him, which means the pillagers, they must have once raided these ancient structures. I just feel like I'm missing some really massive, big secret somewhere here. But guys, I mean, the pillagers, they have so much ancient lore. Looking through all of those wiki pages, it would take me on my own forever. So I decided the only option was to recruit some help to sort through it all. Make sure you watch until the end of this video to learn the dark truth. But while they're doing that, let's take a look at the Nether, which seems hostile. But what if it's actually just protecting itself from the overworld?
Yes, I can already see your comments. Why are you wearing a lab coat instead of playing Minecraft? Well, just hear me out. Here are 2 petri dishes with samples of bacteria, and this little experiment might help us prove our theory. The only issue is it takes a while to test. First, we're going to leave one in a normal environment, and then the other one is going to sit underneath our heat lamp. So for now, we'll come back to this later to see if anything changes or if the results can help us. Until then, let me show you why I'm testing this.
Half the reason is, well, this theory has gone crazy viral on the internet, and yet I ain't buying the hype. I mean, are we talking about the same Nether? This place is literally filled with lava as far as the eye can see, and most of the mobs here are trying to kill you, and we're supposed to believe it's, innocently protecting itself. What a load of trash! And meanwhile, the overworld, it has friendly animals, plenty of water, and sun in the sky keeps pretty much all the monsters away. How could the overworld, this beautiful, lush land, threaten what hides behind in that portal? I mean, I guess the first step would be seeing what happens to nether mobs when they go to the overworld? And you're up first, Mr. Blaze. Tell me, is the overworld a traumatizing, terrifying place for a big man like you? Look, bro's chilling. It's fine, we'll just keep testing mobs and maybe we'll eventually hit genius. All right, Magma Cube, jump in the... Finally, come on, go. Honestly, they should just stay in the nether. Look, the Magma Cube, totally fine. Nothing is happening to it. Actually, now that I've just said that out loud, guys, I realize that I might be the stupid one here. This theory does have one really big advantage for it. The piglins. Because do you know what happens when piglins end up in the overworld? Let's just spawn one in, chuck him in the minecart, down you go, buddy. This contraption that I've created is not really the most intelligent thing I've done, but watch what happens when the piglin goes into the overworld. Do you see that? He is shaking, he's shivering, he's freezing, he is not happy here, but that's not actually the truth here, guys. Just give it a few more seconds. He is now a zombified piglin. He's been infested, infected. And wait, don't hoglins also do the same thing? Boom, there we go. He's now a zombie and he's attacking the other nether mobs. So clearly something is wrong here in the overworld. Every time these mobs come here, they get infected. But maybe it's just piglins. Does the overworld have any other types of infections? I really don't think so. We all know zombies spawn in the dark, but they can also be created. And no, I don't mean with spawn eggs, although that is what we're going to do, but only because I want to show you this. See them attacking these villagers? Look at them running away. Okay, well.
A few moments later.
This guy might actually be the best villager I've ever seen. He's been dodging them for at least 10 minutes, but finally, he is transformed into a zombie villager. Zombies are able to infect villagers. They're carrying some sort of disease. A disease that exists here in the overworld. Silverfish also kind of do this, except instead of infecting mobs, they go ahead and infect blocks. And that's not even the only example of mobs infecting blocks. I mean, once you come deep enough underground, you'll always find these deep, dark biomes that have been consumed by all of this skulk. Whatever it is, it has ruined the ancient cities of Minecraft. I mean, just look at that structure. That clearly used to be some sort of pillager outpost, and now it's long abandoned, all because of these blocks. The Skulk Catalyst. And as you guys know, whenever something dies near a catalyst, the Skulk spread. And that's not all. Skulk, which I'm pretty sure you use a shovel to dig up. If you do this, it's going to drop a little bit of XP. That's weird, right? If it has XP, then it must be alive, like a mob, because it steals XP from a living creature when it dies. It's using the dead to survive, and you know what else? Uses the dead to survive a parasite. Another type of infection here in the overworld. We just don't see it on the surface anymore. But all of this is great, except there's no actual evidence that this infection ever wanted to spread to the nether. Unless, wait, it was an escape plan. Maybe there's evidence of people trying to escape this infection, and ruined portals are the answer. Ruined portals spawn throughout the entire overworld. You can find them here, but they've been damaged. What if the survivors were actually building all of these ancient ruined portals to escape the overworld? Because back then the overworld was just filled with skulk spreading everywhere. I mean, it would explain why the ancient city has that massive portal in the middle of it. That portal they traveled through to escape. And once they did, they built massive ancient structures here in the nether. Echoes of the city that they left behind. And as far as I'm aware, other than these fossils, there are no mobs that change when they enter into the nether. Like, if I spawn a pig, it's still a pig here, right? It doesn't get, like, reverse infected. Why would that be? What makes this biome, or I guess this dimension of the nether so special? And this is why I did this experiment. Let me ask you, how do you fight infections? How does your body fight infections? To find out, let's take a look at the regular muddy water sample. You see that? There are parasites and bacteria everywhere. If we compare that to our heated sample that's been boiled by the light, just take a look. There is pretty much no bacteria, no parasites. They are all dead. And heat is basically the nether's middle name. I mean, it's filled with lava, magma, netherrack, all of which are acting as defense mechanisms to burn the infections. That's why zombies burn in the daylight. But not all infectious mobs burn in the overworld. I mean, in the most recent update, we got the husks. They can still infect villages, but they live in deserts and they don't burn in the sunlight. And zombie piglins, when they come back to the nether, they don't heal. Like, the process doesn't reverse. They don't turn back into piglins. Why doesn't the heat cure them anymore? And why doesn't the heat infect brand new mobs? That's where this theory actually starts to get scary. Because viruses, well, they can actually evolve over time. I had to whip out the real Wikipedia for this information, not even the Minecraft one, and have a look at this. The rapid rate of viral mutation combined with natural selection allows viruses to quickly adapt to changes in their host environment. This ancient virus has been here for so long, and in the meantime, it's been getting stronger. Not only has it evolved to affect both blocks and mobs, but now it's even beginning to resist heat, like we saw in the husk. Except if that is true and this overworld virus is evolving to become super strong, why hasn't it affected us? You and me, the player. Is it possible, though, that nether mobs attack us because they see us as a danger they need to protect themselves from? Perhaps the players are already infected, evident by how we can just casually die and then respawn, becoming undead just like the zombies. So, are we the bad guys here? Comment below and let me know what you'll think. Speaking of death, are sniffers smelling for seeds, or are they actually digging for dead bodies? It should be a pretty easy test though. We got our sniffer, who is giving me a good look at his booty, and now sniffing the wall. And if I jump, let's say not too far away, and do /kill, let's find out. All right, okay. He's now sniffing over there. I died over there, buddy. All right, that's fine. Maybe we try a different tactic. How about some hostile mobs? Bada bang. Nothing? He seems totally disinterested in whatever I'm doing and way more interested in these ancient ruins. Oh wait, that might actually be where I'm getting this all wrong. We know that the sniffers were supposed to be the dinosaurs of Minecraft, right? And usually the thing that they sniff out are torchflower seeds and what is it called? The pitcher pod? This is what, yeah, look at him, he turned his back. Immediate reaction to these things. Okay, I'm gonna take them before you eat them up, right? So maybe all these deaths, my death, the mobs, they're too recent. What if they're actually sniffing for the bodies of the ancient Minecraft builders? Obviously, finding any evidence to connect with the ancient builders is really tricky because pretty much the only item in the game which we know for sure comes from them are these pottery sherds, which you can then use to craft into pots, all with different symbols having different significance to the ancient builders. I mean, right there's the sniffer. That's how we know that the sniffer and the ancient builders lived around the same time. And even the warden, where they lived in the ancient cities. But what's that? I don't think I've ever seen that design before, or at least I've never noticed it. I thought it was a fire, but that's a fire. Hold up. I think it might be either a pitcher plant or a torch flower fully grown. Okay, let's get a little bit of water, put up a light source, and let's plant down the torch flower seeds. Let's see if this gives us what we need. Oh my gosh, guys, look at that side by side. That is, without a doubt, a torch flower. It has to be, right? I mean, not exactly the same, but they do look pretty similar. So maybe we're onto something. Maybe the ancients, they carried around torch flowers often, but for what purpose? I mean, I guess if the sniffers were like domesticated, like they treated sniffers like pets, maybe they rode on their backs, they could perhaps use the torch flowers then so that the sniffer could find their owner. Or if their owner, you know, died. So the sniffers could be trying to reach their dead owners. That is so sad. But on the other hand, we don't exactly have what I would call very solid evidence. Is there anything deeper? Maybe there's a pot description I don't know about. Where is our torch flower pot? Oh, there it is. Wait, sheaf? What is a sheaf? It is a pottery sherd that depicts... Wait, what? So it isn't even a torch flower? That's embarrassing. I don't know, guys. At this point, with everything kind of against us, I feel like this theory is capped. Unless I'm missing something, which in that case, please let me know in the comments below. Why is my phone going off? Did I seriously forget to put it on silent?
Oh no, I did it on purpose because the players I recruited, they actually found something useful. What does it say here? Apparently copper golems have some sort of unique interaction. We gotta bring this up on the computer. Yeah, look at this. My friend Ethan discovered that Vindicators are linked to copper golems, and apparently iron golems are connected too? I'm not gonna lie, getting this information wouldn't have been possible without today's sponsor, Odoo. With their recruitment app, I was easily able to hire the right people to properly investigate the copper golem lore. That's because everything's in this one super clean dashboard. Let's go and check our Minecraft researcher applicants. Oh, my friend Lucy also applied. And what's dope is that Odoo automatically saved all her information in her resume in one folder. Bruh. Her job experience says taking care of my pet turtle. Yeah, she's definitely not getting hired. And with Odoo's Kanban view, I can literally just drag and drop her straight into trash. Look at this guy, Michael. He's actually got everything we need. What a Chad. And with a single click, Odoo lets me send him an offer and automatically shoots him a pre-written email. Odoo is an all-in-one tool that helps me manage my business and grow my YouTube channel. And the first app is totally free with unlimited hosting and support. So scan the QR code or click the link in the description below. With the new info from my recruits, I headed straight to the Woodland Mansion to put their discoveries to the test. This evidence is just insane. I never would have found any of this on my own. Well, you know what they say, teamwork makes the dream work, and if you guys want to help me out, you can send it to my email address, ey@spawnpointmedia.com, because I miss things all the time, just like this Vindicator, who is connected to a copper golem, or at least that is the theory, because look at this. It's the only mob that uses an axe instead of a sword. But why? Were they really just chopping wood? Or were they actually there to repair the copper golems when they got oxidized? See what I'm saying? And not just that, the jail cells. You know what's inside of them? The allays! I forgot about this as well, but once again, we've been helped out. You see, pillagers kidnap allays. And with allays and copper golems working together, they would have an incredible sorting system for all of their looting. Pillagers could raid the villagers for everything that they have. Then they would force the allays to pick up all of the items for them. Finally, they would then have their copper golems on standby to sort all of it into their storage room chests as they returned. But that isn't the only thing we found. Do you remember those iron golems trapped inside those outpost cages? Well, apparently, the iron golems and our precious copper golems have a special interaction. Except, Mojang coded it so it only happens 0.58% of the time. It would have taken me literally days to get it on camera. Except, since we had all the recruits, someone actually managed to record it and sent me this clip. Here goes nothing. Dude, look at that. The iron golem is giving the copper golem a poppy. Usually, iron golems will only ever give this flower to baby villagers. So, what does this mean? That they're friends? No. And it goes on his head? What? It can't be an accident. Maybe they have shared a trauma from the pillagers. Come to think of it, why are copper golems not still enslaved today? Meanwhile, these iron golems are still here in the cages. Were they just stolen from villagers to reduce their defenses? Or were iron golems the whole reason that their copper brothers are free? They're caged as a punishment for starting an ancient golem rebellion. I mean, that would explain their friendship and could also explain what we found in the trial chambers. Maybe pillagers left behind the ominous bottles to scare away anyone who might think to restart the copper golem assembly line, fearful that they would come back for revenge. Man, mobs can have some crazy connections you'd never expect. But what about a theory that is so ancient it was completely forgotten? Is the creaking an evolution of the Enderman? How is that even possible? The Enderman has been in the game all the way since 2011. Basically since Minecraft was first created. Since then, we've seen textures change on basically everything. That is except the Enderman, who has basically stayed exactly the same. Even the end hasn't changed. It's almost like Mojang totally forgot about the Enderman. Almost like now. Why would we suddenly have an evolution of the Enderman? And how are these two connected? They don't even look that similar.
Wait, look at the eyes of the Enderman. I know that is something you would never, ever normally say, and I'm actually trying really hard here. Oh, no. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. Look at them. 3 pixels, right? It's the exact same eyes, just a different color. However, the creaking does have an additional eye. Oh, ow, I got a little bit too close. The other thing is the height. The height is really similar between these two mobs. We don't really have any other tall mobs, I guess, other than the Iron Golem, but the body shape is different. Our Enderman is really straight. The creaking, look at, he's bent around almost like he went to the doctor and did not take his advice for his scoliosis issues. Maybe the behavior can give us some more information? The creaking, as long as we look at it, doesn't move. Kind of the exact opposite of our Enderman, who if you look in his eyes, will kill you. Whereas this guy just stands totally still. The minute we look away, holy moly, all right, okay, we get it. He comes running straight for you. Turn away and hold up. Okay, yep, we get it. Come on, chill, dude, chill. Did y'all hear that sound? That death sound is terrifying, but it sounds kind of familiar. Do you think it's the same as the Enderman death sound? Okay, yep, and now I made him upset too. Okay, buddy, all right. And if you look away though, he'll also keep attacking you. That sound was nothing like the creaking. I was trying to find something there, guys. I'm trying to find their similarities to prove this theory, but to be honest, they were kind of total opposite sounds. Even their behaviors, some are the same, like looking in their eyes, and others are opposites, like the sounds. Unless, maybe I need to hear them closer. The very first thing I notice is even though the deaths sounded different, they look almost identical. Here is our Enderman death and our creaking death sounds in an audio software called Adobe Audition. It's basically Photoshop, but for audio. This is the waveform of the sound. It's basically, if the sound could be seen with your eyes, this is what it would look like. And you can see they look the same. So why do they sound so different? Let's listen to them side by side. We've got the Enderman. Okay, we're very familiar with that sound, but then we have our brand new creaking. Let's listen to this one. Wait, now that I've heard them back to back, it sounds like the creaking is a longer version than the Enderman. I mean, we can see that visually. So what if we take the Enderman sound and time and pitch, stretch a pitch? Do you think this could do it? I don't know, all right? I'm not an expert. And so 200% makes it 200% longer. And then if we lower the pitch, right? It definitely sounds lower than the Enderman. So maybe we lower it by 30 semitones. I don't even know what that means. We hit apply. Hold up, let's see them side by side. It's definitely way closer. Here's our Enderman sound with the effects added. Okay, it's super low quality and it's like pixely like an image because clearly I did it wrong. If you hear this one now, the creaking just sounds like a higher quality version of the Enderman. And if I unmute the Enderman and play them at the same time, they're literally the same sound. They are literally the same sound. The Enderman death is a higher pitch for shorter. The creaking death is a lower pitch for longer. Different versions of the same thing. It's like the eyes. They're not opposites, they're the same thing. Now we know they're definitely connected, there's no doubt about it. But how is the creaking better than an Enderman? How is it an evolution? When I think about it, the creaking doesn't really have anything improved over the Enderman. They literally only spawn in this biome, they never leave it. They can't even teleport. Endermen can go wherever they want. How is that an advantage? How is that an evolution over the Enderman? I mean, I guess the Enderman has its own weaknesses. It can't stand in water, that's for one thing. Lol, noob, it doesn't like to take a bath, the stinky little Enderman. What about the creaking? I actually have no idea, I've never tested this before. Huh. The creaking's all for a bath. He's not taking any damage at all. In fact, Bro's just chilling. He's going for that beach holiday. So there's 1 point to the creaking. Trapping it, right? Whenever I see an Enderman, the first thing I do is I chuck down a boat. They literally can't get out. Even if you hit them, they can't teleport out. I don't know what it is about the boats. They're actually really weak when you think about it. Endermen are so easy to counter. Will he get in the boat? Wait, what? Guys, I'm literally driving it into him. You saw how quickly the Enderman went into the boat. No matter what, he's not going into the boat. You can't counter him. You can't trap him. It's like he's almost not here. I wonder if that has something to do with it. What about combat? Oh my gosh, the other Enderman trapped himself in a boat as well. Maybe the Creakings are actually smarter. The point is, though, when it comes to fighting, everybody knows that the Enderman is a beast. Because when you try to attack this thing, you can't even use your different weapons. Shoot a bow at it, boom, instantly teleporting, dodging it. But when you use it as a Creaking, what happens? Because they can't teleport. They just tank the damage? That seems like a devolution. What? He instantly died. But you're telling me that's somehow better than an Enderman? That doesn't make sense. Oh, wait, I'm dumb. This is because I'm spawning it using a spawn egg. But that's not how Creakings actually appear in the wild. They appear because of a Creaking heart. Creaking has a separated heart. When it comes time to midnight... Oh! I saw particles over there. Yes! We got ourselves a natural Creaking. Now, if I try and shoot him with an arrow, does he also die instantly? Wait, he didn't even take damage. Whoa, what are these particles? Oh, of course. Oh my gosh. Yep, I forgot. I can't. Nope. These things are invincible because their hearts are separated. Its heart is literally hidden inside this tree. You would have to go hunting in order to actually kill one of these guys. That is so much more powerful than an Enderman. Maybe this theory is actually true then. There's another weakness to Enderman we haven't talked about. Let me put on a carved pumpkin. Okay, I'm in. Oh, dude, he doesn't even care. I'm literally looking at it. You put on a carved pumpkin and he can still attack you, even if you're looking at him. Well, he definitely knows that I am not a friend. Luckily, I spawned that one in, so he's an instant kill. But where is our Enderman? Bro has no idea I'm here. I'm looking at him dead in the eyes. He doesn't care. In almost every way, the Creaking is better. It doesn't share any of the Enderman's weaknesses, which confirms our evolution theory. But how are Endermen actually becoming Creaking? Maybe there's an answer in this biome. It has a totally different sky. It looks totally different to anything else in the game. It's the only biome that isn't green, that has trees. The only one. Wait a minute. This is exactly the same as another biome. It's just not here in the overworld. The Warped Forest. The most distinctively unique biome of the Nether, markedly different from anything else. It is a totally different color, just like the Pale Garden is. And not only that, but the sky is also a different color.
EY, there ain't no sky in the Nether. You a silly dum-dum.
Well, actually, you're the silly dum-dum. Sorry, guys, I actually love you. You're not silly or dumb, all right? The point is, if I give myself night vision, you might notice the color of the fog, which is the equivalent of the sky in the Nether. It is very red. It's red everywhere, except when you enter into the Pale Garden. Oops, sorry. Not the Pale Garden, the Warped Forest. That was a bad joke. I was just trying to point out the fact that they are so similar. It's a different color. And okay, I thought for a second I saw a Creaking heart because I've been talking about it. And now I've just realized, and I didn't even plan for this, but like, the shroom lights, y'all. The shroom lights. Look at this. Can you not see how similar that is to a Creaking heart? Put them side by side. Look at that. And when it lights up, it's even more similar. Almost as if the Creaking heart is a faded, old, ancient shroom light. Now that I think about it, the only hostile mob that spawns inside the Warped Forest is Enderman. Just like the same way the Creaking only spawns in the Pale Garden. Is that connected to shroom lights? It's almost like these biomes are connected, but at the same time, they're from different dimensions. And they were released at different times. Could that mean that the Enderman actually created the Pale Garden? They took the shroom lights with them, and then they became Creaking hearts. They used the Creaking hearts to evolve into the Creaking in the overworld. But for all this to happen, the timelines have to be perfect. But if they are, it will prove this theory is real. This is the official wiki page for all things Warped Forest. It has every structure, every feature, every block, its temperature, all the mobs that can spawn here, every individual sound you can hear, and of course what I'm looking for, the history. Released on September 28th, 2019 in version 1.16. Now, let's compare that to the page here for the Pale Garden. And if we come a little bit further down, all the way to our history again, no. September 28th, 2024. Are you telling me that these updates were released on the same day? 5 years apart. That can't be a coincidence. How is it exactly the same day? Maybe it is a coincidence, but I don't think it is. I think they had to be connected. The Enderman creating the Pale Garden. It makes sense in the timeline. And in 1.21.5, the pale gardens now generate more frequently and are overall larger. Do you all realize how crazy this is right now? That means the pale gardens are growing bigger. The creaking are expanding further into the overworld. Are the Endermen using these two biomes to slowly take over Minecraft? Do they not like the end? Or are they trying to turn every other dimension into the end? A desolate wasteland where no other life can survive. Comment below what you think. Speaking of Minecraft worlds, I just can't stop thinking about this one theory. What if they were actually round? Yes, I know, it does sound kind of loopy-doopy, all right? I'm actually not the only one that's ever mentioned this theory. In fact, 10 years ago, people were still asking the same question. It's just been forgotten. And now as I fly higher, you can begin to see what I mean. Look at the way that the fog renders around the world. Do you notice that? That isn't a straight line. It's not a square. It's curved. How? If this world is supposed to be flat, then why does the fog render round? If we go ahead and hold F3 and G keys at the same time, it's going to show us the chunk borders. This is how the world allegedly generates the world. And these are in squares. And yet with my own eyes, I can see that it's not generating in squares, it's generating in a circle. Are these chunks a lie? Or is there something deeper here? I don't really know. But when we come down, you can't see the circle, but look at that horizon. The blue, the yellow, the sunset, all of it. It's just like our real life world.
I'm no scientist, but I'm pretty sure the only reason sunsets even exist is because our Earth is round, and it all comes down to our atmosphere, which also so happens to be round. Just don't judge my circle drawing, okay? I try very hard. You might think that the sun goes straight into Earth and that's how we see it, but it's actually wrong. The sun isn't here at all. The sun is down here. Yeah, you heard me right. Sun rays come into our atmosphere, and because it's circular, they refract like this. Yeah, it's getting all kinds of weird now, right? Like, I had no idea about this. And this light here is mainly blue light. That's what you see in the sky. And it goes out this way, all different directions, but it doesn't come down because you see there's another type of color in this light, right? It's sunlight. And if you're standing at the right location at the right time, that's when you're going to see colors like yellow bend down towards the earth further away. Yellow, red, and of course right in the middle, we have that orange. That only happens because of our atmosphere. Whereas, if you're saying this is like Minecraft, a singular flat line, that blue light is coming down and hitting it right there. You will never get that beautiful yellow or that beautiful red light. It's just not possible. It can't come out. It's blue everywhere. And eventually, the sun has to crash into the earth. Complete and utter destruction everywhere. So then why hasn't complete doomsday happened to the Minecraft world yet? What happens when it becomes day and night?
To ensure the most consistent and accurate results, I used replay mod to basically just film me standing in a world as the day cycle continue onwards. Normally, you wouldn't really notice anything just by watching it, but that's why replay mod is so useful, because I can take the speed all the way up to 8, and we can watch as the sun and moon turn around and see if we notice anything out of the ordinary. Okay, the sun's going around. It's clearly not crashing into the world, right? If it was flat, it should. Wait a minute. Is it just me, or did the moon just get more circular? Hold up. I don't care about the sun. The sun is clearly square, and it's clearly not crashing. But what about the moon? No, it's flat again. It was circular just before. It went from flat to circular. Why did it change? Okay, there goes the sun again, and the moon, it's circular again. Hold up, wait, pause. Pause it. No. It's really hard to tell. I wish I could zoom in on replay mod here, guys. Right now I'm trying to fly towards the moon. That might be the most newbie thing I've ever done. The point is here, even though it looks curved, that just appears to be the shadow. You can just vaguely make out the outline of our moon. The moon's still square, it's just the shadow that is rounded. If the sun is square and the moon is square, that breaks our whole theory. Even though I just proved with real life logic, I need more evidence. Maybe Mojang has said something about it, the world shape. What about the website? This might be a completely useless shot in the dark. At least it's worth A shot? Create, explore, survive, dig deeper. Okay. We're going down. Dig deeper. Is this going to tell me about the world? Platforms and features. Yeah, well, this is kind of useless. I know how to play Minecraft. Give me something interesting here. Discover Minecraft. Build anything you can imagine. Blah, 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 blah. Blah. Explore and craft your way through an infinite world. The world can't be round if it's also infinite. Does this mean our theory's over? Because in the real world, if you walk in one direction, if you somehow could walk all around the earth, you'd end up back at the same point. But it's just not true in Minecraft. You hit a world border. What if the world border was stopping us from walking around? But there's no way to disable it. What's another way we can prove it? In the real world, if you dig down, you eventually would get to the other side. Unless, of course, you got boiled by the molten core. Maybe we could try that in Minecraft? Well, y'all, I'm down pretty bad and still no other side of the earth. But I'm sure we all know how Minecraft works. I'm gonna dig a little bit further down, hit some bedrock, and then below our bedrock, that's the void. If I fall down there, I die. Even in creative mode. Watch, ready? Here I go. And there it is. Okay, fly up, fly up, fly up. Go, go, go. Okay, well, I was supposed to fly out of there like a hero, but... Anyways, as I was saying, there is no way for us to test if there is something on the other end. This is basically like Earth's molten core. It kills anything that comes into it. Except this is not real life. I have the ability to use commands, including one that should make me totally invincible. 255 is the highest setting for an affected Minecraft. If we give that true, switch into survival, I shouldn't die, right? Okay, this is good. And look, the world rendered round. Even just for a second, you can see it was round. Obviously now it's disappeared, but it's gotta be here somewhere, right? Right? Okay, yeah, I'm kind of getting bored too, guys. Guess it's TikTok time. After falling for what felt like hours, I realized there was no other side. I'm so bored. Not even Jack Black saying Clifton Steal a million times is interesting me anymore. This is it. I give up. I can't do this anymore. There is no other side. The world can't be round. But what about all the other evidence we found? It's just... There is an equal amount of evidence for both sides of this theory. I feel like I'm letting you down. I'm sorry. I just don't know. What do you think of this old theory? Maybe we can debunk it together in the comments below, or you can send your theories to my email, ey@spawnpointmedia.com. But this isn't the only theory players have forgotten. What if I told you that Minecraft's piglins were the first ever creators of magic? But before we can use big words, my English teacher always taught me you must first define them. What is magic in Minecraft? We have the end chest, all right? It can hide your items from anyone except for you. And all the items are just shared, right? You put it over here, you chuck in an item, boom, somehow it's over here. I don't know how. The Nether portal. It teleports you to a literal different dimension. That is the definition of magic. And finally, the enchanting table. It's in the name. It gives you armor and weapons. Well, I mean, it gives you armor and weapons powers, right? All these things do stuff that isn't logical. Physics can't explain it. This is magic. What do all of these have in common? Obsidian. That is the key. Or at least I think it is. Obsidian doesn't exactly look that magical. It's kind of lame, I'm not gonna lie. It looks like Ender Dragon poo. Wait a minute. There's another block that was added in one of the more recent updates, and I honestly forget about it because I've been playing Minecraft for 12 years. The crying obsidian. It might just seem like a decorative block, but in a previous video, we came up with a theory that portals were actually inside of this crying obsidian. That this purple was crying, that was portals, right? But what if we were wrong? What if inside was actually way more power than we ever realized? Look, same color. Do you think there are other items in Minecraft that have a similar color? Maybe other items connected to magic. The respawn anchor. If you charge it up, it will literally teleport you back here when you die. That's magic. The dragon's breath. Not quite the same color, but still really close. And of course, we can't forget about the Enderman who has those menacing purple eyes. Dragon fireball? That's the same. It's all the same. The same magic which is trapped inside the obsidian block. And when it starts crying, the magic is seeping out. It's escaping. How do you even get crying obsidian? Maybe through the piglets? From my understanding, crying obsidian is only found in very few places. The first is ruined portals. which clearly are ancient. So they must be the result of something happening long ago. And the second, well, that's here in our bastions. Or more specifically, should I say, the residents of the bastions themselves, the piglins. If I trade gold with them, they will give us crying obsidian leather.
Bruh.
Well, that was very anticlimactic. It would have been such a great reveal if they actually gave me crying obsidian on the first trade. Maybe you will allow me to have my cool moment. And they will give us crying obsidian. Oh, okay. We got the crying obsidian. That's the point. They have this, all right? These are the two ways you can get it. I think you might actually even be able to find it in the bastion chests themselves. Maybe here. Yo, look at that. There's so much in here. Literally obsidian for days. Okay, new theory. What if the piglins collected the obsidian and just sucked all of the magic out of it, creating crying obsidian? They were the ones who ruined those portals. They built the portals themselves because they would have had to get to the overworld to get obsidian in the first place, but then they sucked it out. But why don't they do it anymore? Why don't they use magic anymore? Did they forget about it? Did they suck all of the obsidian? And, I mean, they're pretty dumb these days. Why? Wait, but if they went to the overworld, then they should have way more things from the overworld, and yet all they have is stuff that you can only get in the nether, right? Take this. Water. But the last I checked, water just evaporates. You can only get it in the overworld. Not only did they use magic, but they came from the overworld in the first place. Except there's just one major, giant, huge flaw to this theory. When piglins are in the overworld, yeah, that happens. They zombify. They turn into zombie piglins. And then they're pretty useless after that. Did they search the overworld as zombie pigmen and then go to the nether? What if they came from the overworld originally? I'm pretty sure piglins are brand new, but zombie pigmen, which is this design, have been around since I started playing Minecraft 10 years ago. Maybe that was when magic was first added. And I'm back on the wiki. Honestly, it feels like this is my best friend for these videos. Holy moly, it's had a huge history. All the way back in 2010, version 1.2 was when we first saw the zombie pigmen. In fact, initially they didn't even have swords. 15 years ago. You can see just how many updates was made to them before finally they turned into these zombified piglins. What about witches? If we come down to history, 2012, that was 2 years after the piglins. Piglins were added to the game first. They were the first creators of magic. That's confirmed. But magic in Minecraft has changed so much since 2012. Why can't the piglins use magic like other mobs now? Maybe they used all their magic to heal themselves from that zombified state, go to the nether, and turn themselves into piglin. But then, why stop using magic? Perhaps it has to do with those other mobs that can still use magic? Witches will use potion for their magic. Pillagers, they just shoot it straight from their hands. There's no obsidian. Unless they are using obsidian. They have so many different rooms. Could there be just a room full of obsidian here? I'm not seeing it. Wait. Oh my gosh. It's just a random room. It doesn't even have doors into it. This could be powering all of the magic that happens in this woodland mansion. That's why there's no door to it, so nobody can break into it by accident or something like that. I don't know. If the pillagers collected the obsidian, they must have used it for magic. And if so, did they mine it themselves? Maybe the zombie pigmen mined it and gave it to them? Is that why piglins can't use magic now? They gave it all to the pillagers? That just doesn't seem right. It feels like we're getting so close to solving this, but it's just something is not adding up. Could something here, some structure, some shape, help explain why these bozos don't want to use magic anymore? Why they're just so focused on building giant ruins? Well, I don't think they would choose to build a ruin. It's just fallen apart. Their home is in ruins. The only thing that's half nice here is gold. Hold up. I might be letting the movie influence my opinion a little bit here now that I've just watched it, but maybe the movie is giving us a clue to the real lore of piglins. All they care about is gold. What if the greed for gold led them to no longer use magic, right? Like, look at these giant blocks of gold. I can take this gold and I can give it to a piglin. They will adore it before finally giving you something in return. And did you see that? They gave me a potion. They gave away magic. They're trading away precious magic just to get gold. Not only that, but piglins will attack you if you try to mine any nearby gold. The evidence is adding up. What if just over the years, they just became more and more greedy? The greed grew bigger and bigger. They started by trading small bits of magic, like you saw there, for gold, until eventually they've just given it all away, turning into these mindless creatures who care about nothing else but gold. It might seem stupid that greed can do this much damage to an entire civilization, but this idea of greed has been around for over 4,000 years in the Bible. It was written by people 4,000 years ago who said in Proverbs chapter 15, verse 27, the greedy will bring ruin to their households, but the one who hates bribes will live. And these guys, I mean, clearly they love bribes. The theory is true. I thought we would find something cool, and yet we've just unlocked one of the saddest realities of humankind. If you want to live a good life, don't become greedy. Be thankful for what you have. But did you know that Minecraft's oceans have been slowly rising for years? But how? Even though it feels like these thick bodies of water have nothing in them and are totally boring, there was a time when they literally had nothing in them, all the way back in 2017, before there was kelp, turtles, dolphins. With all those new things being added, I don't think anyone was really paying attention to the height of the sea. But how much has it really changed? Apparently, a lot. Holy moly, that is ugly, dude. I am all the way back in version 1.12. This is one update before they released the aquatic update that redid oceans. Everything is just this bright fluorescent blue. All there are is squids. That's it. There's nothing else. You can see as far as I go, there is a base deepness for the ocean. That's about as deep as it gets. It doesn't get much deeper no matter where you go to. So from here, if we place a block down and I grab that and I'm gonna swim all the way up to the top, we're gonna measure exactly how many blocks of distance this is. Slash up 1, right click, 33 blocks deep. Already I can feel like our oceans are deeper than that. I'm not gonna even try and find the deepest point in the ocean to make the measurement because this already looks deep enough and I am that confident that this theory is true. There's literally stone in the way. That's how deep this is, all right? So I'm gonna measure from this block here and then we'll do slash up 1. We're gonna make sure it's totally fair. That is 65 blocks, almost double. I mean, I didn't even try and look and find somewhere deeper, but I reckon I could. But the water could have just destroyed downwards. That doesn't actually mean that the ocean is rising. Unless, do you all see it? Are you all thinking what I'm thinking right now? Ocean ruins. These structures literally make zero sense. They are buildings that should be on the surface, but for some reason are underground. They weren't before. And what's in the chest? We got coal. Why would you need coal underwater? No one does. A fishing rod? Wheat? These are things that are only used on the surface and only by players. There are stairs. What do you need stairs for to climb up when you are in the ocean? You just swim around. Clearly, this used to be a structure on the surface that has now been submerged underwater by the rising sea levels. But by who? Wait, that sound. The drowned. The drowned! How could I miss it? What if they were the ones who used to live on the surface? They were villagers. And then their villages got sunk underwater, and this is what they turned into. If this is really true and the oceans rose, there should be more than just that to give us a clue. Shipwrecks. They're another piece of that puzzle. I mean, we have investigated these a ton in previous videos, but that's just because there is so much lore and history held beneath these sunken ships, including the loot, which we've confirmed is the loot of players. Players must have used these ships before we did. And some of this loot matches what we found. The coal and the wheat? Does that mean the same people who used or lived in those ocean ruins are the ones that were in these shipwrecks? What if these weren't wrecked from poor sailing or invasion, but actually this ship used to be sitting on land? You can see how close to the surface this was, and the water has just risen up and destroyed the ship, tipped it upside down. But if that was the case, how come not all land is underwater? Well, actually, first off, a lot of it is. The oceans are so much bigger in newer versions compared to the old ones, which would make sense. This would all be stuff that was on land. You can see gravel and dirt and sand when all of these blocks used to only be on the surface. You didn't find them in the oceans in those older updates. Not to mention, they're not the only civilizations underground. I was working on this trail ruins earlier for a different video, and I had a totally different theory, but I'm gonna delete that video now because I just changed my mind. These got here because of rising sea levels. And as the sea levels rose, so did some of the land. This used to be a mountain, and now it just looks like a normal island. That's my theory. And let's check the items. What do we got? Coal again. The same items. I know I'm stretching it. And wheat. Coal and wheat. That's not even a stretch at this point. The same stuff is in all three of these locations. But then, how is the water rising actually? We need to go back there. In real life, water rises due to heat, but I don't really see an increase in heat in Minecraft. Wait a minute. In the ravines. Right here. In every single Minecraft ocean cave, there are magma. And these bubbles, that's because of the heat. Could that be what's pushing the water up? That the inside of the core is heating up? But why? And then magma is made from lava, and lava combined with water makes stone and obsidian. Hold up, is the bottom of these oceans stone? There's stone as the base. Gravel on top, but stone as the base. It's creating more stone here where all that magma is, and that pushes the land up, which keeps at least some of it above the surface, but as it's pushed up, it's consumed these same civilizations, the same ones in the boat, the same in the ocean ruins. Why? I still don't have an answer as to why, and how dangerous is this thing? Is it gonna keep happening? Could this entire world be buried someday?